Blackberry's on the phone. We're also making a video here, Chris. This is Bikeberry on the phone. I got a bad engine. I discussed it with Tony and another gentleman there the other day. It had a bad wrist pin. Bought it back in November. I didn't get it running till the other day because we have winter here, Chris. I ordered subsequently a bunch of parts. Was supposed to fix it because the engine I ordered was supposed to have the 40 millimeter intake part. You understand what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry, sir?
Okay. I can hear you good here, Chris. I ordered an engine in November. It was supposed to have the 40 millimeter intake port, and it did not. And when I did get it, it had a bad wrist pin. It damaged the piston, and the wrist pin is garbage. And so was the bearing subsequently. All right. I just ordered a bunch of parts from you. I was supposed to get the 40 millimeter jug from Tony at your company, and the piston, and the gaskets. And what I got was nothing. I got a 32 millimeter intake port jug. I got a GT5 piston instead of the PK80 piston. And I got no wrist pin. I got no bearing. And the gasket that I received with that stuff was crumbled up like a cupcake wrapper in the package. I didn't even get a jug gasket with it either.
Okay, sir, before I proceed, I just want to ask, is this conversation being recorded in any way? Their videotape or audio recording device?
Chris, no, I'm on the computer right now. I'm with the gentleman here. Tommy Lobb has the same issue with his engine. Yeah, he bought an engine off of you last month in February, and it has the same issue. It has a bad wrist pin. Okay, so he's listening with me. He's your customer. He's going to call you after I hang up here, okay?
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I want to make it very clear that I am not authorizing my voice to be recorded in any format. So just want to make sure that you clearly understand that if you are recording this, you do not have my permission to do so on my end.
That's all right.
I could have sworn I heard you say something about a camera, so just wanted to be clear on that first and foremost.
No, I have a...
And is that he's missing a part.
He has a bad wrist pin. The engine's bad. He has a bad...
Wrist pin? Do you mean like a carburetor, piston pin?
The wrist pin fits in the engine. It goes through the piston.
Okay, so the piston.
Well, it needs to be matched. I don't know whether it's out of tolerance. So it's either the piston or it's the wrist pin or it's both. But they're binding up just like the engine that I had bought back in November that I just got running. It has a bad wrist pin. Now, whether it's the piston, it needs to be sold in a set that it actually fits because the Chinese are not making the tolerances correct. I went over this with Tony when I called before when I ordered these other parts. And I also ordered an 1.25 inch hub adapter from Tony, and you sent me an 1.5 inch hub adapter.
I'm sorry, you said you needed an 1.5 inches, and you got an 1.5 inches?
No, I needed an 1.25 inches.
Okay, well that could be anything from a simple error on our part over the phone, on our part on the warehouse, but
well, he wasn't.
I want to address one issue at a time, if you don't mind.
Well, he wasn't, Chris. He wasn't.
When did this customer get this engine kit?
He got it back in February. His name's Thomas Lobb.
Okay. Did he get it directly from us, or did he get it from you?
No, he got it directly from you. Okay. I'm installing the engine. I'm installing the engine currently on his bike, and it has a bad wrist pin or piston.
You're saying bad because it's not the right size, or it's broken, or I'm sorry. I just want to be very clear because I don't want to make any mistakes going forward.
In engineering terms, it has bad tolerances. Either the piston is...
I'm not a mechanic or an engineer, so I do apologize. I don't know what you mean by tolerance.
All right, well, Chris, I am. In other words, the tolerances are not matched. It's binding up, so...
I understand that, Tim, but with all due respect, if I'm not, you can say whatever you want. I won't understand it. So if you can please kind of break it down for me,
I'm breaking... Chris,
I want to understand what the problem is.
Chris, there's only 4 components there to deal with, okay? There's the crankshaft, the rod for the crankshaft, and then there's the bearing, the wrist pin, and the piston. Now,
I understand the components of it. What do you mean by the tolerance? That's what I'm asking.
Something is wrong with the...
I don't understand what tolerance means.
Well, the wrist pin fits through the hole of the piston. So either the wrist pin is not the correct size or the hole drilled through the piston is not the correct size. Now, whether it's the chicken or the egg, okay, the wrist pin seems to be about 2 thousandths larger than the other wrist pins that I have, versus the piston seems to be fine. But if they change the tolerances of both, I can't guess what China's doing. Okay, but the wrist pins does seem to be oversized. But overall, it damaged the pistons because of that. It bound them up and they hit the sides of the jug and it scraped up the pistons. They're bad. It also actually distorted the one piston, and the one piston is slightly distorted.
Okay. If that's the case, then we can certainly take care of that. The customer did get the product back in February. That's certainly covered under the warranty. But again, I don't know honestly if it's the pin or the piston. Like I said, it could be one or the other.
Well, like I said, I need that, and then, it's okay to send me a piston and a wrist pin. Well, what about the gaskets? Nobody's sending me any gaskets with this stuff, and when I'm getting them, they're all crumpled up and they're a piece of shit. I didn't get any jug gaskets with anything. I also didn't get...
So this is where I'm kind of getting a little confused. Did you already talk to someone else about this and we're in the middle of correcting it, or are you calling me about this for the first time?
I'm calling you about this for the first time, but I also talked to Tony about this issue, who sent me all the wrong parts.
Okay,
Nothing...
So again, the answer to my question I just asked you was if this had been taken care of before, or is this the first time? Clearly this had been taken care of before.
Well, it's not taken care of because I have the wrong parts.
You can't, with all due respect, you know what I'm talking about. You mean that you talked to somebody, it was believed to be resolved, but I guess you're saying that you got the wrong parts.
Correct.
Now, what did you receive that was incorrect?
Okay, number one is the hub adapter. I have an 1.5 inch hub adapter.
Okay, yeah. We've addressed that, sure. But regarding the piston.
Okay, I got a GT5 piston instead of a PK80 piston. Okay, the hole position is wrong on it. And like I said, all I received was a piston. Now I have 2 bad engines and possibly a third I got to dissect later on this afternoon. I have another gentleman from Jim Thorpe that bought one of your engines right down the road here, and suspectedly it's having the same issue. It's acting the same as the other two, so I don't think that one's going to be any different either. And I don't know when he bought it, not yet. I didn't talk to him because I didn't know what was wrong with it. It was waiting here at my shop when I came home the other day. All right, but right now I need 2 pistons and I need the wrist pins, and I'd like the corresponding gaskets, the head and the jug gasket, and the intake and the exhaust gaskets, since I have to rip everything brand new apart since it's bad.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I just can't send you those parts, Tim. First and foremost, they're not covered under the warranty. The gaskets, for example, if you take a look at our policy that's online, gaskets, chains, cables, those are considered normal wear and tear parts, and they're not covered under the warranty. So you would need to replace those if they get damaged during whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Well, you know what I mean. Replacing the.
No, not really. I realize these guys are going to eat it, and I'm going to actually eat what's going on here. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I order parts. I ordered 2 of the BR tuning, the 40mm intake port manifolds. I get 1. I also ordered 2 gaskets with them, and I got none. I mean, this is like a monkey fucking a football, Chris. It's getting out of hand. I mean, they're not even competent to take an order. Nobody can size a part properly. I do blame part of this on the maker, actually, of the hub adapter. They can't stamp a size on these. I mean, I see how some of these internet businesses, they have a bunch of bins full of stuff, and if something from another bin jumps in the wrong bin, somebody else ends up getting it. I mean, I understand how frustrating it can be to run a volume business. I don't run a volume business like that. But to deny me gaskets and stuff and have these guys' bikes sit here till I order all this shit, it costs me money. I mean, there's other people that are selling these engines out there. I happen to like I'm fond of the Flying Horse. When you get a good one that works, it works. I actually reworked those engines, some of them. I mean, the stuff that I build for me and other customers, I build some real custom stuff. It's a real hot rod. You can see my stuff online.
Tim, do you know which piston you need for that engine kit?
I need the PK80 piston.
No, I mean, do you know what number? Because there's multiple pistons for the 66/80.
That's what's probably the number 2 piston.
image by any chance?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. There is a way that we can find out without any further issues. If you could just get measurements off of that and compare it to one of the three that we have,
It's the 1
it
inch.
would eliminate the possibility of sending you the wrong one.
It's the 1 inch hole center.
Well, no, there's multiple measurements. There's like from the skirt to the bottom, the skirt to the whole bottom. You can actually pull up one of the pistons in on our website. You'll see in the pictures it has like the measurements of all the possible ways you can measure it. Excuse me. So if you can match that up with the ones that you have, then you'll know which one to get, and then we can get the 5 back and switch them out for you.
From the top of the piston, okay, to the bottom of the skirt, it's 1 3/4 inches.
I'm sorry, what is it, Tim?
From the top of the piston down to the.
I'm sorry. Is there any way that you could turn your volume up, because mine's all the way up and I can't hear you?
Yeah, I'm up in the office up here. I'm like a mile away from the base of the phone down in the shop. This is 1 3/4 inches from the top of the piston, okay, to the bottom furthest part of the skirt. Then from the top ridge of the piston, okay, it's like 1 inch almost to the hole center. Actually, it's probably like 1 7/8 inches to the hole center. I mean, that's how we measure the pistons.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do it how we measure the piston. I'm looking at the diagram, and it looks like we pretty much gave the width, the length, width of the hole, the distance from the skirt, and the gap spacing, the distance from the skirt to the piston pin hole. I mean, like I said, Tim, it would be a lot easier, honestly, if you could take a look at the diagram. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And it's broken in millimeters, unfortunately, though. So whatever units you get in inches would need to be converted. But if we can get a matchup, then I can get you the right part.
Well, if it's in millimeters, it does me no good with an American sliding scale. I mean, I have a dial caliper here, whatever you want to call it. We call it a VENEER. Here, piston. I mean, they got to learn to convert this shit. I mean, you know what? You know what we call that in the Navy? We call that low down shit ass nigger lazy. That's what we call it.
Look, Tim, I understand that it's not to your liking, but there's really, I mean, we work with them. You know, that's not going to change. You know, you have very valid arguments and complaints. I will give you that, but I mean, you know, there's nothing that we can do, honestly. I mean, I can't call them and tell them to convert it. I mean, you know, that's just the problem. I mean, if you get to
but somebody there.
I'll break it down for you in millimeters.
Chris, okay, with somebody there with a little bit of brain power. The pistons have no dimensions. Let me go on the bottom here. No, I got the jug gaskets. There's no dimensions on here unless I'm on bikeberry.com, 4850cc piston.
Okay, do you see the other pictures to the side of it? There's like that one main picture, or are you on the grid where it shows everything?
There's what it says home, and right below it's a little piston with a little, I don't know, let me blow it up. No, there's no dimensions. It's not giving me any goddamn dimensions with this. It's just a picture of the piston. I mean, it almost looks like what I'm looking for, though. The hole's lower in the center. But what you're calling it is a SKU FH piston 48.
Okay, so you're looking at a 48/50cc piston, okay? That's what you're looking at?
Yeah, but I don't know what the total height of the piston is, because like you said...
That one doesn't have the that's for a 48cc, not a 66. So you're looking at the wrong one. If I can have you look at a number 4, or excuse me, number 4, number 5, or number 2, then you'll see the diagram, or the measurement, if you will, to the left of it. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures, and one of them is an actual diagram of the breakdown of the crankcase, and the other 3 are actually pictures of the piston itself, one of which has the measurements that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm not finding it on here. It's when I'm gonna. Here it has a 6680cc piston number 4.
Okay. You're on the number 4. Are you on the main page of the 4?
I'm on bikeberry.com here. It has rings in the left-hand corner. Then it has a 4-stroke piston. Then it has
okay. Click on it so you go to the main page for the piston number 4. So you're on the actual page where it has the piston blown up. It says number 4. It has the description there. Can you get to that part of it, please?
Yeah, here it is. Number 4 piston, 6080cc. Be the first to review. Email a friend. Best price. Now over here again, it has 2 pistons side by side. This one might. Now this one has dimensions. All right.
Right. That's what I was talking about. So if you can get those dimensions or those measurements from the original one that you had, and then get it to us, we'll go ahead and match it up, and we'll see if you got the wrong one. If so, we'll go ahead and correct that. If not, then we'll go from there. But if we can get those measurements, then at least we'd be on the right track.
All right. Well, it's like inch and 5/8. So what is that? Is that 50 millimeters?
I don't know, sir. I don't have a conversion system in my head, so I would need to look that up.
Oh, I can try to go down and get my metric veneer here. Maybe I can solve that. That one's been floating around the shop because I use it a lot. But I'm saying I try to fix that stuff. I'm getting busy here. People are bringing these goddamn bikes here. It says CB110. It's an 1.5 inch hub adapter.
Okay. But you need the 1.5 inch.
Now I need an 1.25 inch. I just told you.
Okay.
I have like 3 1.5 inches here.
Alright, but you ordered the standard large adapter.
No. The kid was a boob. He didn't know how to. He's another one that didn't know how to read a scale.
Did you tell him the name of the one? Did you actually see it on the website and tell him, hey, I need this one?
No, Chris, when I'm in the shop, I'm running a business. I'm not online. It takes me too much time.
Right, but respectively so, there has to be some level of responsibility on the customer to tell us. Because you might have mentioned 1.5 inches a couple of times, as well as saying 1.25 inches.
No. And if somebody's that incompetent, they don't need to be employed. I fire people like that here at my shop, Chris.
But see, that's the thing, Tim. You need to look at it realistically. Is that we can only place the orders that we hear, and if information. I wasn't a part of that conversation. I don't know what was said. I don't know what's going on. I just see the aftermath. I'm not saying that it's your fault. I'm not saying that it's his fault. I'm saying because I don't know what happened, I have to assume all is possible. So that being said, if you need the one that's 1.25 inches, which let me just pull it up right now. I need to get verification. Because I need to hear it from you, because if I don't get it verification from you and something goes wrong, then it's my ass, you know what I mean? So I want to make sure that going forward...
like I said, Chris, I tell you guys over and over again, I'm an aviation engineer. I'm not any idiot. I know how to read scales. Yeah, it's the piston there seems to be the piston I need. That's on your website there. The one that number 4 piston seems to be it. And I've had this argument over because I'm trying to make these pistons to fit my engines and stuff. I'm oversizing the diameter to get a little bit bigger bore circumference. But then in the meantime, when I make these overstock engines and stuff like that, I need to rely on your parts. It costs me quite a deal of money to make some of these parts myself.
Right, but if there's going to be cases where there's multiple selections available, for example, the PBR King sprocket adapters, they have names: Nexus, Modest, Standard, Large. You know, that's a good way for us to go about it. So, okay, you need 1.25 inches. So the only one that comes close to that is the OCC chopper, which has a diameter of 1.250 to 1.258 inches. Is that correct? Is that what you need, Tim?
Yeah, that's 1.25 inches, correct.
Okay, excellent. Now, if we can get back the standard large adapter, then we'll send you out the OCC.
Do you know how much? Chris? Do you know how much money you're going to cost me between regasketing these engines and time and money? You don't care that you're gonna hurt me for a great deal of money? Do you know what it takes to?
We can't send you a label to get it back and ship it out. So we can do one or the other. We can send you a label, but then you have to pay for the shipping to get it out.
Well, like I said, I'm paying twice for something I've never had because of somebody else's incompetence. I mean, somebody that can't even read a scale or a ruler, Chris. I mean, it's not worth doing business with Bikeberry. I mean, it's like getting ripped off. And it's all over the internet. I mean, you had more complaints from the Consumer Bureau out there, the Better Business Bureau. I mean, hell, I'm going to lodge a complaint if it comes to that. You're costing me almost $200 in time and labor, shipping and gaskets.
I mean, Tim, unfortunately, I can't do both. I can either send you a label to get it back and have you pay for the shipping to get it, or I can.
Well, I would prefer.
We'll pay for the shipping to get it out to you.
What I would prefer is that I have the correct hub adapter that fits. Because if I'm going to pay for goddamn shipping, then I'm going to ship them both back and ask for a refund.
That's why I'm clarifying with you right now. The OCC chopper adapter, which has a diameter of 1.25, is the one that you need, so that when you do send the standard large adapter, then we can make sure that one gets sent out to you, the OCC chopper adapter.
What I'm going to do before all of that goes on is I'm just going to order another one from somebody else. I'm going to lodge the complaint with the Consumer Bureau, put this out on the internet, and I'll shit can the whole damn thing, and I'm just going to start making all these parts myself. Because if I'm going to go through this, I might as well spend a couple weekends in the machine shop and put all these out of fucking business, is what I'll do.
Tim, you're more than welcome to. I mean, I'm trying to help you. Unfortunately,
you're not helping me, Chris. You're fucking me in the ass.
Tim, I'm talking right now with all due respect. Please let me finish. Okay? I've dealt with you several times before.
I know, Chris, and I don't smile when people... I threatened to kill. Oh, am I threatening to? You're not being a professional. You're being an idiot. Did I? When did I threaten to kill you, Chris? When?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off on you like that, but you know what?
I think you have some mental health issues, my friend. Chris, you're abusing. I definitely will, Chris. I definitely will.
You understand, Tim? I'm being very curt. I'm being very fair with you right now.
I'm a functional individual that can think for himself, Chris, and I never threaten.
I understand that, but you don't know when to say the right thing and when you not say the wrong thing.
They don't call me Uncle Dutch for nothing. I'm the guy with 5 modified championships under my belt, and a whole lot of show cars and these bikes, and I got a lot of other things to show for it in my life, Chris. I'm a hard-driving son of a bitch, and nobody will call me out. I'm not.
You know, Tim, you can be whatever you want to be on the phone.
That's right. That's correct.
Because all those are disguised threats, and I'm not going to take them anymore from you.
I don't make disguises, Chris. I'm a very adamant individual. I'm very articulate. I have a lot of pride in what I do here. And when I got to give my customers the bad news, I got to give them my best, that you would cooperate with me, send me the proper hub adapter and the proper pistons and the gaskets to fix their engines. Okay? Because either way, you know what I mean. I got to go to somewhere else just to get the right stuff, because I can't rely that I'm going to get the correct things at this point, Chris.
You know, as a business owner, you probably will agree that sometimes mistakes happen, and the whole time I've been trying to help you, I've never once told you personally
but this is
that, you know what, you're screwed. We're trying to help you, but we do have procedures, we do have protocols. You as a business owner will understand that, because if you had a customer, if the shoe was on the other foot,
Chris, I own...
understand where we're coming from.
Chris.
So again, we're more than happy to help you. I'll I'll send you a label, but you got to pay for shipping to get the new one out, or I'll, ship the old one out and you pay to get the one back.
But how long is that going to take, Chris?
I can prep an order. I tell you what, I can prep an order for you right now. If you can call me back with a tracking number on that product, all I need to do is verify its movement, and I'll get the other one out for you. We'll do that. Instead of waiting to get it back, we'll just have them cross in the mail.
The hub adapter, the shipping date was 3/22/16 from FedEx, and the order number is 13.
I have it right here in front of me. You placed it at 4:36 p.m. on March 21st. I got it right here in front.
Okay, then you have a tracking number.
No. I need a tracking number for when you send it back.
Okay, for when I send it back.
Right.
All right.
Send it back. Get that tracking number. Let us know. We'll verify it. All we need to see moving on. As long as it says it's been picked up and it's on its way, we'll get the other one out to you.
Do you know where UPS is? The nearest UPS to me is miles away.
I do not. As a courtesy, I'm more than happy to look it up for you. If you would.
Well, then this will be sometime. This will be sometime tomorrow. In between sometime tomorrow and today, when I get off the phone with you, I've got to order this guy and pay for the correct hub adapter for that bike. Do you understand?
You don't have to pay for the correct. Tim, try to follow me on this. You've already purchased it, okay? We'll just exchange it for you. That's we're being very clear. I'll exchange it for you, okay? As a matter of fact, there is a price difference on it, but working with you, I'll be happy to waive that for you. Just a clean exchange, but we do need to get it back.
All right. Well, like I said, what am I going to do with a piston that I can't use, and I need 2 pistons and probably a third, and all these gaskets. Like I said, this has turned into a nightmare. I don't even have a gasket. I mean, you guys send me a freaking 40mm intake manifold and no gasket to fit it. I mean, what kind of shit is that? You think I'm a moron that I order an intake? I actually ordered 2 intakes and 2 gaskets, but I got 1 intake and no gaskets. You think I'm a moron? I don't order gaskets when I order an intake manifold?
I don't know, Tim. I don't know you personally. I don't know. So, because I don't know, I'm going to politely not answer that question. Now, I'm looking at your order. You did order a billet intake manifold, 40mm, excuse me. Did you receive that as part of your order?
I ordered 1 of them, but I actually ordered 2 and 2 gaskets. The manifold does me no good, Chris.
Here's the order that you ordered, okay? This is the one from the 21st, 4:36 p.m. U.S. 1 billet, and again, if you would allow me to finish, I would appreciate that. 1 PBR tuning billet intake manifold, 40mm. 1 sprocket adapter assembly, standard large, 48 tooth. 1 piston ring set, 66cc/80. 1 piston number 5, and 1 cylinder body, 40mm, which we zeroed out because I believe we were sending you a replacement for it.
And my work order, on my work order setting on the desk here, which now I should put in the video then after I'm done with this, Chris, I have it here on a work order. I don't call and order a manifold. I don't take the intake manifold, or I don't take my truck apart. I mean, you think if I replace the brakes, I just put the calipers back on? Or, if I take
I'm sure your work order probably has it, but it's not on this order. So if it's not on the order and you didn't get it, then that makes perfect sense because it's not on our order.
Okay, that does make sense, but like I said, I'm answering to somebody else's incompetence, and I'm going to have alligators on my ass when I got to tell these people I don't even have the parts for their bikes, and I don't know when I'm getting them, and I don't even know, like I said, I got to find another source to get parts. Because this level of incompetence, Chris, I can't take.
It's not incompetence, Tim. If you didn't order it, we're not going to send it out.
I ordered it, Chris. I can read.
I'm looking at your order right now. Perhaps maybe you meant to, and you didn't. It happens to all of us. Hell, it happens to me. I'm willing to admit it, but I'm looking at your order, and I don't see it, so we didn't send it. So unless you want to order it, we can't send it out to you.
Chris, I just ordered lumber and framing material for a house. It's going together. There's nothing missing.
That's fine. That's lumber. That's a completely different thing. We're talking about BikeBerry. We're talking about engine kit parts, and we're talking
about fucking bicycle parts.
Paper you wrote, and I'm telling you, with all due respect, Tim, with all due respect,
I'm an idiot.
I'm
an idiot, and it's not BikeBerry. That's what you're telling me. All due respect.
I'm not saying that you're choosing to use those words in such a way to form those sentences. I'm telling you, it's not on the order.
I don't mince words. I'm not the government. Chris, I'm not the government. I don't mince words to make nasty things sound nice. I'm not Hillary Clinton or Obama or George Bush. Okay.
Nothing to do with politics, Tim, but point taken. Look, if you want me to break it down for you, I'll break it down. You did not order the parts that you're saying. I'm sure you had it written down. You probably meant to, but it wasn't ordered. So unless you order them, I can't send them out to you. That's the problem. And that's business. And as a business owner, if that happens to you...
So I made all those mistakes. Even though I needed an 1.25" hub adapter, I ordered an 1.5". Even though I needed a 40mm jug, which I still don't have, with the 40mm intake port, I got a 30. I didn't order that. I ordered the 40mm. Okay?
Now, hold on, right there. You did order the 40. If you got the 30, that I can take care of. No ifs, ands, or buts, no issues. We'll get that one back, and then we'll get you the 30. Oh, I'll get you the 30 out. If that's the case, if you got a 30mm port, then we'll get you, we'll get you the 40. That's not a problem, okay? So you can remove that one from the list because that's not going to be an issue.
So that was my idiot ship too, or?
No, because you ordered a 40mm. It's on this list that I'm reading. But if you're saying that you got a 30, then that's a problem. Then that's certainly our mistake, and I'm willing to admit that. And I'm willing also, with no issues and no problems, to apologize for that error.
Well, I'm from a different era, Chris. I don't know what age you are, but I'm.
Well, I am the age of the future, sir. So here's what's going to happen.
It ain't that fucking bright, pal.
Just tell me what you need that was not on the list, and we're going to order that, or we can go ahead and correct the other ones, the issues that you already have.
Well, I need
That's what we're
gaskets.
gonna do right now.
I need the port gaskets, the exhaust gaskets, the jug gaskets for those engines, and I need decent stuff that's not going to come all busted up or look like a crumpled up cupcake wrapper. Okay, and I need my other 40mm intake manifold, and I need gaskets to fit both of those. Because like I said, at this point, I'm having my shop jammed up here because of somebody else's incompetence.
Okay. Those gaskets and an additional manifold, you're going to have to order those two.
All right, well, let me get this stuff in the mail to you and get you a tracking number. Right now, you can get a jug on its way with the 40mm intake port and this other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna, like I said, I got a source out here, and most of the stuff I'm gonna have to start making all this stuff myself because it does me no good to do business like this, Chris. I got a bunch of shit apart in my shop. I'm lucky I could find out the nuts and bolts to put it back together. It got that bad, but I spent the night. I worked till midnight last night sorting all those nuts and bolts out. And you don't even feel sorry for me that I worked all those hours just to sort all that bullshit out. And I still don't have the time of day when that stuff's going to go back together. And I've got to deal with the people that own it and that belong to it. It's not the way I want to do business, Chris. You're giving me a severe hurting. You're actually giving me a beating is what you're doing. Okay? I'll try to get you a tracking number for that stuff. Like I said, UPS ain't close down the street to me here where I live. I live up in hillbilly heaven here. And everything's a drudgery for this. I was actually surprised this stuff came to me. They actually delivered it on Good Friday. I don't know, it was either Good Friday or Saturday they were working. Because I asked the guy, I said, they didn't give you off for the holiday? He said, no, sir, they didn't. All right, and I worked the holiday. And like I said, I got a Holocaust in my shop. I got all these people's bikes apart and nothing I can finish. And I feel bad for them. All right? Nobody feels bad for me. All right?
Give me the info, Tim, and we'll go from there.
All right, well, I got to call you back with the info then, okay?
All right, not a problem.
All right, and I also got to make up another work order, okay? Because that's the thing is I got a work order sitting here on my desk. That's why I said I don't make mistakes. When I call something in, I'm an engineer. I do it by blueprint, by design. You know what I mean? Even if it's just parts I need, it gets written down and the date I ordered it, and then it gets straightened out. Okay?
Understand.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Bye.